All right, welcome back. You're watching this very special broadcast on International Yoga Day here on NewsX with me, Rishika Barua. All right, let's get in a word from Sadhvi Deepika this time. How important is core strengthening? Because I think, like Shivani put it, this is the part of your body, the pelvic area is the part of your body that basically controls your your movements throughout. How important is the core, and how what are your tips, so to speak, for core strengthening?
This is the area that accumulates all the toxins from our body. So all the things that we eat, the fat that gets digested is excreted out.
Okay.
But that what is left gets accumulated in our pelvic area.
Okay.
So it's very important to do some stretches and some strengthening exercises for this area. And I feel the kind of sedentary lifestyles we are running through these days in the 21st century, it's very important for us to get out of the cliche of morning yoga only.
Okay.
We must do morning yoga, like Surya Namaskar is very good for this core strengthening.
Okay.
But yes, even if we are in office, why can't we do chair yoga? Why can't we do some stretching while working,
Yes.
Take a
So
short
that's my
break.
excuse when someone asks me, what have you done today? I say chair yoga. I think Surya Namaskar has layers,
Oh, yeah,
layers
you
of
can do
benefits, right?
variations
You were
like-
saying that it's very good for vitamin D absorption. One didn't know that.
Yeah, these days we are suffering from calcium deficiency,
Yes.
and it's very important for calcium absorption that you have vitamin D in your body. And it's very good that in the morning sun, you face the sun and do Surya Namaskar while chanting those 12 mantras
Okay.
that have been prescribed.
Right.
And then you gain maximum of vitamin D from the sun.
Okay, so that's the reason why it is called the Surya Namaskar. You are ideally supposed to do it in the morning hours,
Yeah,
facing the sun, so
exactly.
you absorb the energy of the sun.
Exactly, yes.
Yoga is a lifestyle. I think that in a certain sense has been one of the biggest takeaways that one has seen. It's not just a couple of stretches and exercises that you do, but what you do physically has, benefits that extend beyond just, strength and beyond just, the physical aspect of yoga. It transcends much beyond that.
Yeah, very well said. It's a lifestyle indeed. And when we hear this word yoga, the very first thing that comes to our mind is Ashtanga Yoga. That was propounded by sage Patanjali. He gave this 8 limbs of yoga. The first 5 are the ones that we practice in our outer world. And the rest of the 3 are the ones that take us within us, a flight within us. So these first 5 are Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam and Pratyahar. The Yam says that you have to control your behavioral aspect, like how you behave with people, you have to mend your ways, condition your mind, condition your speech, etc. Right? Not to hurt others and all. The Niyam is the discipline part, how you discipline your food habits, your the time you wake up, the time you sleep, all these things. And then we have Asan, that is physical postures, you all know that. We have pranayam, these are the breathing exercises, and we have pratyahar. These are like, conditioning your mind to become introvert.
Okay.
Listening to some spiritual music, reading some spiritual text like Bhagavad Gita or something. And these are the 5 limbs which are cumulatively called exoteric yoga. In Hindi we call it Bahirang yoga, that is practiced in our outside world. Then we have these another 3, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi.
Okay.
Because yoga is related to Dhyan.
Right.
We do yoga, we do physical exercises, we do breathing exercises so that we strengthen our physical and mental aspects.
So, Sadhvi Deepika, do you want to break down the Beta Seedhe Baitho for us? Why are we always told to sit straight? What is it that is, why, a lot of us while working inevitably, you'll be slouching and you're always told don't slouch, sit straight. What's the importance of that sit straight?
We eat food and we get energy through it. We take energy through the sun. But the most profound energy that we get in our body is the cosmic energy.
Okay.
And we get that cosmic energy from a point here in the center of the head.
Okay.
That's called Brahmarandra. There's a hole out here, a subtle opening. So that's the whole idea. We sit in meditation posture in a temple position, right? We have a triangular, a conical shape, and it attracts the cosmic energy the most. And it travels right from here, center of the head, through the spine, to the Mool Chakra, rejuvenating our complete personality, body, mind, intellect and soul.
Many people wonder why do you, a lot of yoga instructors will, tell you to chant Om 3 times before and 3 times after. Is that so that there is absorption of the entire process, absorption of the energy? Like she said, it's all about the vibrations. The different parts of Om actually, send the vibrations through different parts of your body.
It's like when you drive a car and you change the gears, you bring it to a neutral gear and then you change the gear.
Right.
So we are so much absorbed in the outside world, so busy with this hustle bustle of the world. It's very important that we bring ourselves, our body and our mind to the neutral gear through Om chanting.
Okay.
And then we can become introvert. Then it becomes very easy for us. It's like a warm up. Okay. And it's like a very good ending also.
Like you said, it transcends beyond physical, it transcends beyond just being about inner peace. It's not just about, the chanting. It is essentially all-inclusive.
Yeah.
Overarching and all-inclusive.
The last note I would like to say is Yoga Chit Vritti Nirodha.
Okay.
Yog
Can you
means...
break that down for us?
Yeah, Yog means 3 things.
Okay.
Yeah, one is Chit, then Vritti and then Nirod. So we have to understand what is this threefold thing.
Okay, very quickly, just tell us what the threefold thing is and then I have to take a break.
Chit is, to be very simple,
okay,
our mind, right? Vritti is the pulses we get in our mind.
Okay.
The pulses, the impulses, everything.
Right.
And Nirod is cessation.
Okay.
So when there is cessation of these pulses in our mind,
right,
the mind is still.
Okay.
It is absolutely 0 thoughts per second, 0 TPS. That is a state of complete yoga.